So for chapters 3 and 4, I really found 2 points of chapter 3 to be particularly interesting and that I was really drawn towards and I wanted to think about a little bit more deeply. So the first one is this concept of differentiated instruction, and it's a term that I've heard a lot, especially lately, in my other classes and with students that I've worked with in the past. But I don't think I really understood exactly how to go about this. And because this is short, I won't go too much into everything I was thinking, but a couple of the key points were about how you first need to acknowledge, accommodate, and build upon in order to ensure optimal growth for all. And so that really is just kind of like the point of differentiated instruction and why it's so key in many of our classrooms and future classrooms. And something that hadn't really thought about too much was how much planning is involved. I mean, I always kind of assumed you plan beforehand, but it's true that you also need to really think about it during and make adjustments as needed, and after. So taking that time to reflect, like what worked, what didn't work, what can I do better, how are my students doing, checking in, doing informal and formal assessments, which this chapter also talked about, and just seeing what worked and modifying it accordingly. And some of the words that I kind of highlighted were having a variety, being flexible, caring, and that mutual respect that we might not think about immediately when we think about differentiated instruction. It might be very like very technical, like, okay, I'm gonna do this and this and this, but we don't really, at least I hadn't really thought about the fact that you need to put in all of this to make sure that it works for your students. And I took this little part from the chapter, just to kind of give myself something to look back on, and yeah, to really look at when I am working on differentiated instruction, and just remind myself the importance of being present and making time for each of these things. The next thing was sheltered instruction, which is specially designed academic instruction in English. And this was something that I really enjoyed reading about, because, again, of like the why. I always like to ask myself, like, why do we do something, or why does it have to be done this way? And so basically, from what I understood, sheltered instruction is content-based instruction, just modified or with scaffold or changed in order for students to understand it, particularly English learners. So why is this important? And to me, it's because it provides that access to curriculum. By using sheltered instruction, we are able to provide the students with cognitively demanding content, encourage language building, and real learning. So it's not simply, okay, I'm going to try to get you to become proficient in English, so let's go over really basic information. And meanwhile, you're going to fall behind academically because you don't have access to curriculum. But by making the instruction content-based, and as you help them learn English, you're kind of, doing both at the same time, and the student receives what they need for both things. So I kind of wrote this: by not doing this, we deprive students of higher order thinking and cognitive processes, which result in little improvement academically and in English proficiency. So really, we see that not doing content-based instruction is a disservice to students, and this is kind of adapted from Zoraida Hammond's book, which we are concurrently reading.